in the heart of the golden savannah, where the wind carried stories older than the stars. A powerful lion named Leora stood on the edge of Pride Rock, looking over the land he loved more than anything. But today, something felt different, something heavy, something urgent. And it all began with a simple truth. Even the strongest leaders face moments that test their courage, their unity, and their heart. Viz. The story of a lion who discovered that real strength doesn't come from power, but from protecting others even when everything seems ready to fall apart. When Leora was young, he was not the biggest cub in the pride. He wasn't the loudest, nor the strongest. Other cubs teased him for being calm, thoughtful, and slow to roar. But what no one understood was that he watched everything. He listened. He learned. He paid attention to how his father, the old king, treated the land with respect, fairness, and courage. Leora admired him deeply. He dreamed of one day becoming a leader just like him. But dreams alone weren't enough. One night, while the moon glowed silver across the savannah, a grey storm swept through the Pride lands. Trees bent under the force of the wind, thunder cracked against the sky, and rain hammered the earth. Animals fled for shelter. The Pride scrambled to safety. And in the chaos, Leora noticed a small meerkat family trapped beneath a fallen tree. Without hesitation, he ran through the storm, pushing against the wind, dodging falling branches. Hughes wasn't strong enough to lift the tree, but he used his body to shield the meerkats until the storm passed. By morning, the sun rose to reveal a shaken Pride, but no lives were lost. The meerkat family survived because of the small cub who acted with the heart of a lion twice his size. That was the day the Pride began to see Leora differently. He wasn't just a quiet cub. He was brave. He was willing to protect others, even at risk to himself. Years passed, and Leora grew into a powerful lion with a golden mane that shimmered in the light of dawn. When his father grew old, the Pride gathered around to hear the king speak his final words. A true leader is not feared. A true leader brings unity. After his father's passing, Leora stood before the Pride, nervous yet determined. He promised to protect them, guide them, and keep harmony across the lands. And for a long time, peace reigned. But peace is fragile. And soon, a test would come that would push Leora farther than anything he had ever faced. One hot afternoon, a herd of gazelles arrived near Pride Rock, panicked and breathless. "The northern plains are burning!" they cried. "Christy, the fire is spreading fast. And the young ones cannot escape." Leora felt his heart drop. The northern plains were vast, dry, and dangerously close to several burrows, nests, and dens. If the fire spread, hundreds of animals would be trapped. Without a moment's delay, he called the Pride together. "We move now," he commanded, his voice steady with determination. "Every life matters. We will protect our home together." The lionesses roared in agreement, and they ran across the savannah, dust swirling behind them. When they reached the northern plains, flames danced wildly, crackling through the dry grass. Smoke rose in thick clouds, stinging their eyes. Animals cried out from every direction, elephants trumpeting, birds screeching, burrows shaking with fear. Leora knew he couldn't stop the fire alone. But he also knew the Pride had skills beyond strength. "Zara," he called to the swiftest lioness, "lead the young ones out of the ravine." "Mako," he shouted to the strongest, "knock down the burning branches blocking the escape path." "Asher," he urged gently, "guide the frightened herds. Calm them. Keep them moving." Neths. And then he turned to the youngest lioness, Nuri, who trembled at the edge of the flames. "I need you," he said softly. "Use your voice. Tell everyone where to go. Your call is clear and strong." Nuri blinked me. Leora nodded. You, a leader, see strength even where others don't." His words filled her with courage she didn't know she had. She lifted her head and let out a powerful, echoing call that cut through the smoke. Animals scrambled toward her voice, finding a safe path through the chaos. Leora moved through the flames, shielding small creatures, guiding the lost, using his powerful body to push fallen logs aside. Even as the smoke burned his throat and heat scorched his fur, he didn't stop. He couldn't. This was his home, too. These were his people. And he would protect them at any cost. Just when it seemed the fire was calming, a roar of terror echoed from the far edge of the plains. Leora sprinted toward the sound and found a young elephant calf stuck between two burning trees. The fire was closing in fast. The calf cried out, trembling. Leora knew he could not move the trees alone. He tried pushing with all his strength, but the trunks didn't budge. Just as despair threatened him, a deep rumble echoed through the smoke. The elephants had returned, not running from the fire, but charging toward it. "You helped us when the flames began," the matriarch said. "Now we help you." With their massive weight, the elephants pushed the burning trees aside, freeing the calf. The reunion of mother and baby filled Leora's heart with warmth. Remarkable things happened when the Pride Lands stood united. Together, lions, elephants, birds, zebras, and even tiny meerkats worked to clear paths, put out embers, and guide frightened animals to safety. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, the fire was finally under control. The land was scarred, but lives were saved. The Pride stood together, covered in ash and sweat, exhausted but proud. Leora felt weak and dizzy, his body aching from the day's battles. But when he looked around, he saw something unforgettable. Every animal, big and small, staring at him with gratitude. A young antelope stepped forward. "You didn't just protect us," she said softly. "You showed us how to protect each other." An elderly tortoise nodded. "You united the Pride Lands." A tiny meerkat squeaked. "You are our leader, not because you are king, but because you care." Leora felt emotion swell in his chest. He had acted without thinking of glory, without expecting praise. He did what his heart demanded, protecting others with courage and love. That night, as the stars returned to the sky and the air cooled, the animals gathered around Pride Rock for a moment that would never be forgotten. Leora stepped onto the highest ledge, tired but glowing with strength. The moon lit his mane with silver light as he looked over the land he cherished. "Today," he said, his voice echoing across the plains, "we proved that leadership is not about ruling. Leadership is about serving, about standing together, about protecting each other, no matter our size, our species, or our differences." The Pride roared in agreement. The elephants raised their trunks. The birds soared into the sky. The ground trembled with unity. Leora continued, "The Pride Lands survived today because we acted as one. Let this be our way, not just in danger, but every day." A soft breeze swept past him, carrying the scent of ashes but also the scent of new beginnings. The fire had burned, but it would also allow new grass to grow. Life would return. Hope would rise again. In the following weeks, Leora organized teams to restore the land. Lionesses helped dig new watering paths. Elephants cleared damaged trees. Birds spread seeds across the burnt areas. Zebras and antelopes carried messages of safety and peace. Every creature contributed, and slowly, green began to sprout from the blackened earth. One morning, as Leora walked across the recovering plains, he saw a group of young animals practicing teamwork, communicating, encouraging each other. A tiny hare shouted, "Unity like the lions taught us," and Leora smiled. His father's words echoed in his memory. A true leader brings unity. He finally understood them. Leadership wasn't something he earned through a crown. It was something he lived through, his choices. It was kindness, courage, sacrifice, and the determination to stand together when danger threatened to tear them apart. One day, a shy lion cub approached him. "King Leora, how did you become so brave?" Leora lowered himself to the cub's level, looking into his curious eyes. "Bravery comes from love," he said gently. "When you care about others, you'll always find the strength to protect them." The cub blinked. "Even if I'm small?" Leora chuckled warmly. "Especially if you're small. Big hearts grow in small bodies too." The cub's face lit up with hope, and he ran off to join his friends, laughter echoing across the savannah. As the years passed, the Pride Lands flourished more than ever before. Animals lived in harmony. Conflicts were solved peacefully, and the memory of the Great Fire became a story told to young ones, a story about unity, courage, and a lion who protected the pride not with fear, but with love. Whenever the sun rose over the land, its first golden beam always touched Pride Rock, where Leora often stood quietly, gazing over his kingdom. Not with pride, but with gratitude. He knew that real leadership would always be tested. He knew dangers would come again. But he also knew something far more important. The Pride Lands were strongest when they stood together. As long as unity lived in the hearts of its animals, no storm, fire, or enemy could ever break them. Leora closed his eyes, feeling the warmth of the dawn on his mane, and whispered to the wind, "As long as I breathe, I will protect them. Not because I am king, but because we are one." And the savannah sighed back, its approval soft, peaceful, united under the watch of the lion who protected the pride.